Good morning. Well, I guess afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful 71 degrees here in Lakeland, Florida, and I am outside of my home. So, a different atmosphere today because it's such a beautiful day today in Florida. So, I do want to welcome you to Ricky's Book Journal. And I do want to wish all of you a happy and wonderful Halloween as well. Let me go ahead and get to the books I read. Okay. So, this month in October, I have read a total of 4 books. And they were all pretty good. Between, I would say, 3.5 to 5-star books. So, pretty good, pretty decent books. The first book I read was Red, White, and Royal Blue, and this is by Casey McQuiston. Sorry if I butcher names. So this book reminded me, I don't know if any of you seen the show. I'm gonna kind of switch hands here. I don't know if any of you seen the show or not, but Political Animals. And it was a cross between Political Animals and If They Met England, like if they dealt with some people, the higher-ups, royalties in England. So mostly about this book, there is Alex, the president's son, Harry, Harry, the heir of England, and then, so what mostly goes on with them is that they are not friends at all. They are kind of worse enemies, and it explains in the book on why. It all started when they were younger, but there was a funny scene at a wedding where they got in a fight, and they ruined their humongous I think it was like $7,000 cake. And to me, I was like, oh, what a shame, because I love cake. Cake is one of my favorite desserts and sweets. But so after that, what happens is that they are forced kind of to become friends, forced into a friendship, because what happens is for the people, the American people and the people in England, they need to show that they are friends, so there's no issues between either areas. And what happens is their friendship then leads into a relationship, but the relationship is a hidden relationship for a while because of the risk that it can take on the heir and the president. So, but later on in the book, they do, I know it's kind of a spoiler, but they do end up together. And there are some more relationships in this book as well that are joined together too. But all in all, I would say that I would like a second book based on Harry and Alex themselves, and to see where they go and to see how they handle things too, because I think that would be very interesting. So now, I did rate this book about a 4.5. And the reason I did this was because of the conflicts that there were. There were so many conflicts in the families, between both families and parties, and just unacceptfulness and things like that. And I really didn't like that, but at the same time I understood that, because you're talking about the president and the is it the princess? No, the queen. I'm sorry, the queen of England, and the royalty that they hold up and things like that. So, sorry, there's a car driving by. Earlier there were dogs barking, so she might be the one looking for the dogs, but I don't know where they went because now it got quiet. But so it was, I mean, all in all, minus the differences and things like that, and I'm happy that everyone came to an agreement. The book was really good. I would totally recommend it. Great book. It was a great book from beginning to end, so I definitely recommend it. The next book I read was called Luminous by Maria Ruthford. This book I rated about 3 to 3.5 stars, and the reason why is it was a slower book. It's a newer book, so it just came out, but it was a to me, it was a slower book. It needed more action. So the book is, like I said, the book is called Luminous, and so it's a mystical book, and you have, let's see here, Guy Givas. He does like shadows, and then you have, oh, I'm sorry, that's Gives. You have Evan, who gives shadows. Then you have Lena, who has light, and the book is based off of her and her magical power of light. Then you have Marina, which is Lena's sister. Then you have Zero, Janie, Adele, Helen, and Darius. Darius. There we go. Sorry, Darius. And he was an evil person in the book. So what happened is he kind of captured the king and queen, and when he captured the king and queen, he kind of took over everything. So the entire city and everyone else was afraid of him and afraid to say no. So what happened is that he took Leora to his part of town, and along with Evan and I believe her sister as well. And no, her sister stayed back. I'm sorry. And they did some sewing and things like that, like some clothes making and stuff, because Leora was really good. She's a really good seamstress. So what happens is Darius takes people to work for him at the taverns, and the taverns have a special magic because the taverns kind of come alive with the hairs that it's built out of, and also along with the clothes. Well, we're kind of skipping around here because I don't want to give too much away. At a young age, a star crashes into Leora's house, and that's how she gets her power. But Darius and Leora have the same, Darius and Laura, I'm sorry, they have some power, and Darius has turned people to fear him, like I said, but he has Leora's power. So, but he uses the power in a bad way. Leora kind of hides it, and no one kind of mentions it because everyone wants to keep it a secret from Darius. Now, let's see here. The words of Darius is fear is a powerful tool. So, and that's why he uses that power, because people fear him, which makes him get what he wants. And so the question is, if you read the book, is who saved Leora from the burning house? In the end, does Leora and her surrender her powers to Darius? Like, completely gives them up? Or does she keep her powers and uses them for good? And then, does Darius become a changed person? And is the town free of Darius as well? So there's many questions in this book that can be answered. Those are just some of them. Like I said, I rated this book about a 3.5 stars. It was good. It was just a little slow. I expected more powerful uses from Leora out of this book, in my vision. When I saw that she had a power of light, I mean, she uses it, but it's in the end of the book, and it was just, it wasn't the best book for me, but I read it. I really don't like the DNF books or didn't finish books because I feel the author took his or her time to write a story. So I definitely want to read the story, and maybe the book might get better. This one, it kind of did get better towards the end more, but it was so-so. So that's why I gave it a 3.5 stars. So it was pretty good, but not the best. The next book I read is also a newer book. It's called The Last Beautiful Girl. It's by Nina Luminous. And again, sorry if I butcher these names. I gave this book a 5-star rating all the way across the board. Like, this book and the next book I'm going to talk about need to be turned into a movie. I have so many ideas. I'm not a producer or anything, but just in my mind, I just have like so many ideas of what this movie could be. So this book, the author, Nina, she brought you right into Isabella's life. And so mostly what happened is Izza's family moves into an abandoned house. It's like a mansion. And the university that her dad transferred to is fixing up the house because the house is part of the university. Well, what happens is in the house, they find there's items from this lady named Isabella, and Isabella Granger, and she was back in the day, she was very popular. In the houses, all these paintings of her, and everyone wanted to draw her because she was just so beautiful and stunning. Well, she lived and died in the house. And well, what was going on is that Isabella did not want her fame and fortune done yet. So when Izza's family moved in, the whole school that Izza goes to found out where they live. And so Izza and her new friends made an Instagram. And the Instagram was based off of Isabella Granger and bringing her back to life and bringing her fame back so people can get more educated on her and things like that. Even though she wasn't the best woman, she died alone. From what I understood, she was kind of mean and rude and things like that, but they brought her back to life. But the thing is, they brought her back to life with Izza because Izza looked stunning and beautiful just like her, and she wore her clothes well, everything fit to her in a snug, like, just great. Well, so what happened, due to Izza wearing Isabella's clothes, you find out that Isabella is trying to now take over Izza's body because all the fame, because Isabella isn't done with getting that fame and doesn't want to stop getting that fame. She's living off of it. So Izza's body is being taken over by Isabella. And with her body being taken over by Isabella, Izza's becoming kind of a ruder person to her family and friends. And she's like, this is my house. No one can live here, da-da-da-da. And her family's like, no, this is not your house. This is the school's house. They're doing it for us so your dad can work at the college and da-da-da-da. Well, so that is where the story turns kind of good to bad, because Isabella is taking over Izza's body. So now the questions are, because like I said, this book is a 5-star, definitely recommend that you read it, is that will Izza be saved from Isabella, or will she be sucked into the house and taken over by Isabella completely? There are some murders in this story, but all in all, this story was phenomenal. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. The last book I read, and this book made me absolutely speechless because I loved it so much, was, I gave it 5 stars. It was The Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I gave this book 5 stars all the way across the board. Believe it should be turned into a movie. It was phenomenal. I call this book a mix between True Blood, Desperate Housewives, and Steel Magnolias, like all combined together. Like, it was great. Grady Hendrix took you on an adventure in this book. He took you on a wild adventure at that. From start to finish, this book was amazing. Let's see, the only reason I heard of this book was from other book club members, and that my husband read it on audio. He likes to listen to audiobooks and color at the same time, where I like to try to read physical books. And so, but my husband told me, he goes, "Hon, you need to get this book. Like, you need to buy this book. You need to get it. You need to read it. Like, it is amazing." So I bought it, of course. But the book is just amazing. And if you love vampires and sweet Southern ladies, like a Southern belle, but with the mean side, this book is for you. Now, there are some trigger warnings. There's a rape that happens. There's some killing that happens. And also there's a murder scene. And the murder scene goes into very, very, very detailed things. So it kind of made my stomach turn. And I was like, oh, I can't believe like it went into that. And I love Stephen King, Joe Hill, Dean Koontz, things like that. Like, I read horror books too, but I never, like, this book gone. It was, if you've seen Dexter, it was like a Dexter scene in a book, but kind of more in detail. So, but this book, by hands down, it was one of the best books that I've read. And so those were the 4 books that I read for October. And as you can probably hear, there's the dogs barking again. But those were the books that I read in October. And they were really good. I recommend every single one of them that I read. Luminous, if you like a little bit slower with some mild action, I would definitely recommend it. But like I said, it's a mystical book. So it was, I mean, all in all, it was good. But it's my lowest rating book for this month. I hope all of you have a wonderful Halloween. And I don't know, I may do some, as it gets cooler weather out here, I may do some more book reviews out here. Like I said, it's a beautiful 71 degrees out today. It's gorgeous. There's a little bit of a breeze, but the sun is still shining, and it's wonderful. I love Florida at this time of year. It gets so pretty. So, but please remember that all of you are beautiful, and if any of you need help, it's okay to ask for help. And I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween and holidays coming up as well. And you guys have a great day. Love you guys.